In a time shrouded in the mists of forgotten eons, long before the rise of Sumerian ziggurats or Egyptian pyramids, there existed a race of beings whose might and wisdom far eclipsed that of early humanity. These were the Anunnaki, not divine emissaries from the stars, but an ancient offshoot of the Neanderthals who had evolved in isolation, hidden from the primitive hominids who wandered the earth like shadows beneath the sun. In their seclusion, the Anunnaki forged a civilization of such splendor and intellect that they seemed as gods to those who glimpsed them. Unlike their Neanderthal cousins, the Anunnaki were endowed with cranial capacities beyond mortal comprehension, their minds a labyrinth of knowledge and power. They sculpted cities from living stone and gleaming metal, cities that shimmered like mirages on the horizon, their towers piercing the heavens. Their languages were as complex as the web of stars, their architecture a testament to their mastery over the natural world. To the early humans who stumbled upon their hidden enclaves, the Anunnaki appeared as titans from a realm beyond understanding. But their evolution bore a cruel curse. The immense intellect that made them godlike also wrought a perilous cost. Childbirth among the Anunnaki became a deadly ordeal, often claiming the lives of both mother and child. As their numbers dwindled, the Anunnaki faced the encroaching shadow of extinction. Desperation clawed at them like a beast, driving them to seek salvation in the only way left to them, the blood of humans who thrived in simplicity where the Anunnaki faltered. In their desperation, the Anunnaki turned to interbreeding with humans, not with the precision of their scientific minds, but with the frantic hope that some fusion of their essence might stave off annihilation. Thus, the Nephilim were born, giants whose existence was as chaotic as the tempest that brought them into being. The Nephilim were a grotesque synthesis of Anunnaki intellect and human vitality, their forms often twisted by the unpredictable dance of their mingled bloodlines. Some towered over men like mountains, their immense frames barely able to contain the wild energy coursing through them. Others were cursed with the weaknesses of both species, their lives short and fraught with suffering. Yet among them arose a few who thrived, warriors and rulers whose presence dominated the ancient world, casting a long shadow over the early civilizations they would come to rule. Under the iron fists of the Nephilim, human societies began to flourish, molded by the giants' knowledge and ambition. The Nephilim taught humans the secrets of the earth, the alchemy of turning ore into metal, the celestial dance of stars that guided planting and harvest, and the arcane arts of architecture that reached toward the heavens. They erected titanic structures, pyramids that soared to kiss the sky, monoliths that defied time, and vast networks of roads and canals that bound the earth together. These wonders were not merely gifts, but testaments to the Nephilim's dominance, symbols of their ironclad rule over a world that trembled beneath their gaze. But the Nephilim, like the Anunnaki before them, were not immune to the corruption of power. As their dominion grew, so did their hubris. They saw themselves not as stewards, but as sovereigns, their right to rule ordained by their very blood. They took human women as their brides, blending their essence further into the mortal line and giving rise to a race of demigods, beings of terrifying power and wrath, revered as kings and queens, yet feared for the cataclysmic violence they could unleash. The Nephilim's insatiable ambition led to war. Their battles shook the earth, their lust for power leaving the land scorched and blood-soaked. Civilizations rose and fell in their wake, kingdoms crumbling under the weight of their titanic clashes. The world groaned under the burden of their excesses, and the line between ruler and tyrant disappeared as they turned their swords against each other in a never-ending quest for supremacy. It was Enlil, the stern and uncompromising leader of the Anunnaki, who first saw the need to end the madness. He decreed that the Nephilim, the flawed progeny of their race, must be wiped out to save the earth from destruction. Enki, his brother, who had always harbored a soft spot for humanity, was reluctant, torn between his love for both his kin and the humans they had sought to uplift. But even Enki could not deny the truth. The Nephilim's unchecked power threatened to unravel the very fabric of the world. The earth needed cleansing, and the flood was coming. A cataclysm, both natural and divine, would soon sweep across the land. erasing the sins of the past and washing away the bloodstains of a dying world. Before the waters rose, Enki, ever the wise and compassionate, sought to save what he could. He whispered in the ear of Noah, a man of pure heart among the humans, guiding him to build an ark, a vessel not just of survival but of hope. Enki's plan was to preserve a fragment of the world's purity, untainted by the Nephilim's dark legacy, and to give humanity a chance to start anew. Then came the disaster that would alter the course of history. The younger Dryas comet, a celestial harbinger of doom, struck the earth with such ferocity that the very skies wept fire and the seas roared in anger. The impact shattered the ice sheets that encased the northern lands, releasing torrents of water that surged across the continents. The seas rose, devouring the fertile plains where the Nephilim had built their towering cities. The skies turned black with ash and soot, blotting out the sun and casting the world into a twilight that seemed to herald the end of days. In a matter of years, the earth was plunged into chaos. The once great cities of the Nephilim were swallowed by the floodwaters, their wonders drowned beneath the churning waves or buried under mountains of rubble. The Nephilim, those towering lords of the ancient world, were nearly obliterated. Many perished in the deluge, while others fled to the highest mountains, where they became specters in the mist, remnants of a bygone era, fading into the realm of myth. When the floodwaters finally receded, the earth was unrecognizable, a barren, scarred landscape where the remnants of humanity struggled to survive. The Nephilim were no more, their cities reduced to ruins, their bloodlines scattered, but the echoes of their reign persisted. Carried by the few who had survived, hidden in remote places, their once great civilization, now a ghost story told by the firelight. In this new, quieter world, the Anunnaki realized the need for a different approach. No longer would they leave the future of their race or that of humanity to the whims of fate. Enki, now a figure of both mourning and resolve, began a careful, deliberate program of genetic guidance. The Anunnaki selected the strongest and wisest of the remaining humans, blending their blood with them once more, but now with a clear purpose: to create a new lineage, one that would inherit the best traits of both species without the flaws that had doomed the Nephilim. These new beings were not giants, but they possessed a rare combination of strength, intelligence, and longevity. And most importantly, they possessed the Anunnaki's gift of genetic memory, the persistent soul. They became the rulers and patriarchs of the post-flood world, guiding humanity toward a future free from the violent excesses of the past, and seeding lineages that would enable humanity's future evolution. The Anunnaki worked in secret, nurturing these bloodlines, instilling in them the ancient knowledge, and ensuring that humanity would flourish under their careful watch. But not all the Nephilim had perished. Some, like the sons of Anak, retained much of the size and power of their ancestors, but also many of their darker instincts. They lived on the edges of human civilization, feared and respected in equal measure, their names whispered with a mixture of awe and dread. In the ancient land of Canaan, the Anakim were known as fierce warriors, their very presence a living reminder of the titanic beings who once ruled the earth. Though few in number, their influence was vast. Their legends woven into the fabric of history, speaking of giants who strode the land in an age when the world was still young. And so were seeded the roots of a new conflict, as the light of the Anunnaki and the dark of the Nephilim became inextricably woven into the human soul. As the centuries passed, the direct influence of the Anunnaki waned, and they receded into the shadows, their role in shaping the world becoming the stuff of legend and myth. Yet their legacy endured in the bloodlines they crafted, in the ancient knowledge they guarded, and in the tales of giants and heroes that lingered in the memories of mankind. The story of the Anunnaki and the Nephilim is a tale of hubris and desperation, of a civilization's rise and inevitable fall, but also of redemption and the dawn of a new era. It is a reminder that even the most powerful are not immune to the consequences of their actions, and that the boundary between creation and destruction is perilously thin. In the crumbling ruins of forgotten cities, in the whispered legends of giants, and in the very DNA of humanity, the traces of the Anunnaki's grand experiment still linger, a testament to a time when the earth was shaped by beings of unimaginable power and the fate of the world hung in the balance. Even now in the modern age, the legend of the Anunnaki and the Nephilim remains an enigma, a story passed down through the ages by those who seek to uncover the truths of our ancient past. Some believe that the bloodlines persist, flowing through the veins of certain families. Some believe they have spread far wider. Others claim that the ancient knowledge of the Anunnaki lies hidden in forgotten texts and lost ruins, waiting to be unearthed by those who are worthy. And some already know the truth. This legend is not just a story of gods and giants, but a reflection of the deep and mysterious roots of our own existence. A reminder that our history is far older and far stranger than we have yet imagined. For in the end, the legacy of the Anunnaki is written not just in the stones of their cities, but in the blood that courses through our veins. A legacy from an age when giants ruled the earth and the destiny of humanity was carved in the stars, a destiny that we continue to live.